Chris begrudgingly walked to the supply closet. The school hallways echoed in heavy footsteps. Susie is somewhere, and Rousey is nowhere to be found. He's been missing for quite some time. You can't let that bother you. You must proceed. You jump down the supply closet and into Castletown, a town now barren of all life. Well, except for one. You walk towards the shop, ready to obtain the last shadow crystal. You charge in, ready to strike, when you're greeted with an empty shop. Odd. Out of all the darkness to flee, you'd think the one withering away would accept their fate. They've said it themselves. In a desperate pursuit, you scavenge the shop, hoping that Sean left the crystal behind. You found dark burgers, bits of fabric, and a ton of cash, but no crystal. You keep scouring out of pure denial when you hear soft footsteps. You stop and ready yourself gleefully for combat. It was then you saw the shape and heard the voice of a very scruffy, familiar plush doll. I always knew the legend was too good to be true. Sham stands at the entrance, observing your looks, your physique, and anticipating your every movement. You start getting overwhelmed with familiarity. This isn't the first time you've been judged like this, is it? Before you can think of why, Sham's voice bellows throughout your mind. Looking for this? Sham slightly pulls back their brown cloak to reveal that the shadow crystal had replaced where their heart would be. The source of my sorrow, my pain, my apathy. However, I found out the hard way that clawing it out hurts more than it helps. So I've learned to live with it. But by the sight of your eyes, that light won't burn for long. You take one slight step forward. Sham doesn't seem to budge, but you can tell they flinched. How curious. The lantern that has yearned for its smothering no longer wants to burn out. But that won't stop you, right? Proceed. Sham sighs, knowing what needs to be done. I didn't think I'd die like this. No matter. I made a promise. Sham closes their voided eye. The ground suddenly started to rumble as Sham began to levitate. Sham opened their eye to reveal a yellowish white glow. If it's a fight you want, then it's a fight you'll get! Everything fades to white. The flash dies slowly to darkness. You feel a sense of uneasy liminal space, like you know and don't know where you are, all at the same time. As your eyes adjusted to the darkness, you see a very familiar yet distant figure. Lights! A luminous glow fills the void, blurring everything around you. The floor is the same as the shop, but the walls are in ruins, and the roof has completely disappeared, exposing the world to be a scuffed nebula mess. You look back at the doorframe, or what's left of it, to see the figure again. It's Sham, but their attire is completely changed. Instead of the brown cloak and orange scarf, they were wearing a white button-up shirt with a lime bow tie, black shoes and leggings, and a top hat with an orange ribbon, while sporting a black cape with the interior fading between binary encryption and the universe itself. Sham takes off their top hat, reaches in, and pulls out a seam ripper the size of a staff. They put the hat back on and put both paws on the seam ripper, ready to fight you. Finally, a battle against the old sorcerer. You manage to slash Sham in the chest. A hole tears open and cotton spews out of their chest. Sham stumbles and falls backward, trying to hold the wound closed with their paws. The seam ripper falls over along with them. Finally, after so many attempts, you've beaten the furry hag. Of course, Sham doesn't know how much, nor how many times they've kicked your ass, just like the rest. But that part's over. It's time to proceed. Sham lies on the floor, staring back at Chris. Their eyes, they speak not only of pain, but of sorrow and anticipation. You approach Sham, picking up their seam ripper in the process. They speak.
You're fast and strong, but there's one faster, one stronger.
Familiar, is it not? Sham continues to speak.
Kill me if you wish. Just know that you've always had eyes on you.
With a grin on your face and acceptance on theirs, you take the seam ripper and jab it into Sham's abdomen. Sham shrieked in agony as the blade entered. You dig the seam ripper deeper into Sham's stomach and rip it towards Sham's head. Cotton flies everywhere as the old toy lies torn, lifeless. The world suddenly faded back to normal. Finally back in Castletown, now completely dead. You got Shadow Crystal. You got a letter? You dig through Chris's inventory and open the letter.
Dear Chris, if you're reading this, then I was wrong. Sean was right to not believe in the prophecy. King Spades was right about the Lightners. And Susie was right about distrust. Until we meet again, Rouse.
Things just got a lot more fun.